So let's assume we have an investment and we have a very simple example where we have 2 years of return in the first year. So let's say year one return is 100%. So let's make these percentages. So we have 100, and let's make that a percent. So we need to make it 100%. And let's look at year two return. And let's also make that a percent. And let's say the second year is negative 50. So if we just take the average of these two, what's the average? So we have our, let's label it average. And we can use Excel function to find average right there. We take these two observations and we get an average return of 25%. So if someone says the average return of this investment is 25%, you would think that you made how much every year? You would think you made a 25% return every year, because that's what an average tells you. Now in reality, what's happening? So let's add an investment. So that's the difference between an average and geometric return. What we're going to look for now is geometric. And so what we do is we want to add in an investment. So let's say we have $1,000 to invest. And let's make that dollars, so everything is nice and labeled. So we have $1,000. So we start with $1,000. What happens at the end of year one? Well, you take the principal plus the principal times the return. And so that's how much you have in total. How much do we make on our investment? So this is the total amount. So let's say total, and let's call this appreciation or profit loss. So how much do we profit? Well, we can say we take $1,000 and we make 100%. So we profited $1,000. Our initial investment was $1,000, so the total is $2,000. So after the first year, we have a total of $2,000. Well, what happens the second year? Now we do the same exact formula. We take our principal plus our principal times our return. Oops, what did we forget to do? So what happened? Our total amount went down to 1,000. Well, because what happened? We started with $2,000, and how much did we make? We actually lost 50%. So we lost $1,000. So at the end of the second year, how much money do we actually have? We started with $1,000. We made a profit of $1,000 the first year because our return was 100%. And what happened in the second year? Well, we lost $1,000. We lost $1,000, so our total is $1,000. What was our actual realized return? So we can do another label, realized return. So we can do our return formulas is ending minus beginning divided by beginning. So we have our ending is $1,000 minus beginning is $1,000 divided by our beginning balance. And we can put that in percentages. So our realized return is actually 0%. We started with $1,000, we ended with $1,000. What was our average return? Our average return was 25%. So both of these statements are correct, but obviously which one is more valuable? If you start with $1,000 and 2 years later you have $1,000, would you rather someone tell you that you made 25% average return or 0% average return? Which one is more realistic? So obviously saying we actually have 0 return is more realistic, even though the average is completely accurate.